Shalom, shalom, akiakwas. Want to tap in really quick, speak about a little something, you know what I'm saying? Hope everybody's having a blessed and blissful day, AM, you know what I'm saying? Evening, you know what I'm talking about, or, you know, night whenever you see this video, right? Most definitely. Hopefully that you guys are staying prayed up, most definitely, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to speak about, you know what I'm saying, considering ourselves. So I see a lot of things. I was viewing some stuff, you know what I'm saying, over this past weekend and seeing some people that, you know, some things they consider others, you know what I'm saying, in positive and negative, you know what I'm saying, aspects, right? But they don't consider themselves. So the main thing is this, when I say, there we go. Let me come over here. Give me one moment. Because they trying to mess with, they going to try to mess with it. They like, oh, we don't want people to. Let's go right here. There we go. Should be a little bit better. But yeah, so I see that people will basically take in different consideration, you know what I'm saying, with different things, right? So I see that, you know, let me see here. I don't know why. Give me one moment. We'll go right here. There we go. Let's try it over here. Right. All right. Now, if it keep tripping over here, then I know that, you know what I'm saying, this Facebook trying to do what they do. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, again, this consideration thing, right, is that I see that it be, you know what I'm saying, it'll be, you know what I'm saying, men versus women, still kind of different. You know, it's not, there's still people that are awakening. It's like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying, we have to be more. There we go. Man, they ain't trying to let me be great today, is they? You know what I'm saying? But regardless, you know what I'm saying, like I said, I see that there are some of them that grow. That's like, okay, well, we have to be able to be accountable and stuff like that. But then there's still a lot of majority, you know what I'm saying, of people that are like, okay, well, if the man didn't do this or the woman didn't do this, you know what I'm saying. And aside from that, because this is not about just men and women thing, this is about, you know what I'm saying, just the everybody thing. Because they have brothers that feel some type of way against brothers, you know what I'm saying. I don't mean like direct brothers, but it can also mean that, right? And sisters against sisters, you know what I'm saying. So what I'm saying in the midst of that is that when people tend to, you know what I'm saying, they want to be able to judge, you know what I'm saying, with you know what I'm saying, like a heart and heart for one another, right? And so when they do this, you know what I'm saying, then it ends up creating a dilemma within, you know what I'm saying, like the communication and, you know what I'm saying, the bond basically that they can have with each other, you know what I'm saying. And so so it'll be just like, let me give you an example so I don't seem like long-winded or whatever. So it'll be just like how people can mess around and project. People are really good at projecting, right? And so since they're really good at projecting, they won't just be like, you know what, or let me, because I'm already there in my head. I have to learn how to walk it all the way through, right? So people are good at projecting. So they'll mess around and, you know what I'm saying, be like, okay, well, because you do not fit the ideology of the box that I want to put you in my own mental space, you know what I'm saying, and because the thing that you have done kind of goes against what I feel like, then now, you know what I'm saying, I want to go ahead and downcast you, or, you know what I'm saying, end up kind of like, I guess, writing you off and judging you and feeling like that, you know what I'm saying, you should go through X, Y, and Z instead of you going through what you go through, right? And so we have a lot of people that are in our lives, you know what I'm saying, that will do this type of thing, you know what I'm talking about. And so it'll be something simple as, you know what I'm saying, you start to grow, and it's like, well, you growing, but yet, you know what I'm saying, you never apologized or whatever, so therefore, you know what I'm saying, now anybody who truly grows, you know what I'm saying, is going to be apologetic. They're going to apologize. Some people might not like the apology that you give them if you tell them that you are accountable and you're sorry or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or very apologetic, and they just didn't want to receive it then, so then they write it off as, you know what I'm saying, it's the same concept as, I call it the $20 bill concept, or, you know what I'm saying, but it's called the $20 bill concept, what I call it. It's just like, say you have a birthday, right? And a person gives you a $20 bill, you know what I'm saying? Now, the person who threw the party for you, you know what I'm saying, had decked out the party and everything like that, but they didn't give you any money. The gift was to deck out the party. You know what I'm talking about? So now years transpire. So the thing about it is, you know what I'm saying, because you have value more in something else rather than the thing that the person gave you, right? So you end up valuing the way that they had decorated the party and all this type of stuff. So that makes it memorable for you. Now, when the other person that gave you the $20, you know what I'm saying, you have a conversation with them, and then you be like, well, you didn't give me nothing for my birthday. You know what I'm saying? The reason why you don't value that $20 is because the way that you spend it, the way that you value it. You know what I'm saying? So you could have spent it on drinks, or, you know what I'm saying, spend it on something that really didn't, you know what I'm saying, really matter too much. You know what I'm talking about? And this this is not everybody. This is a few people, you know what I'm saying? Because some people will mess around and buy themselves a gift and then still have it and be like, okay, well, yeah, I remember this. I got that with this. You know what I'm saying? Or I got this with that or whatever, right? And so what I'm saying is this, though, is that, you know what I'm saying, if you do not have a full value for that which is given, you know what I'm saying, then you're not going to be able to cherish it, or you're going to go ahead and put it in you know what I'm saying, a misappropriated manner, you know what I'm saying. So it'll be like that, well, you didn't give me anything, you know what I'm saying. They like, well, I gave you $20, and you like, I don't remember it. And then, you know, they ask you, what'd you spend it on? That's the real question, you know what I'm saying. And so that's another reason why I say consider thyself. This is why this is so, right? So it's just like a person, we would tend to be like that. There are some people that feel like that, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, I want to see you suffering in your situation, you know what I'm saying, because I'm angry with you, or because I have put out my own type of, you know what I'm saying, different perspective about you, not knowing you really fully who you truly are, you know what I'm saying. So therefore, I want to cast judgment upon you, you know what I'm saying, in order to hurt you, you know what I'm saying. But this thing is a misnomer, is because those people that do that are hurt inside themselves, right? So that's another reason I say consider thyself. I was reading 1 Samuel, you know what I'm saying, 20, talking about how Saul was trying to go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, he wanted to kill David, right? And so Saul was a person who chose David, right? But then he ended up getting jealous, and, you know what I'm saying, because David started getting more accolades than what he got. So after he started getting more accolades, then that made King Saul jealous. So he was like, well, you know what, you know what I'm saying, we're going to kill him or whatever, you know what I'm saying. Now, his son, you know what I'm saying, Jonathan, you know what I'm talking about, had basically had favor with David. So, you know, him and David had a little, you know what I'm saying, understanding and agreement, you know what I'm saying, that he would do this one thing in order for it to be signification for David to be able to come out that it's him, you know what I'm saying, not coming to kill him, you know what I'm saying, right? So, in the midst of this, you know what I'm talking about, we see that there's favor in that. And so the reason, that's the whole reason I'm bringing this consider thyself up, you know what I'm saying? Because there's so many other things, but I'm not trying to be just direct, you know what I'm saying? I'm direct about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, direct, but not, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people might think that, oh, well, you bring it up my situation, all this type of stuff, and it's like, no, it's not none of that, you know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of people that fall into that category, right? So, however, what I'm saying is this, is that, there are times that we would prefer that somebody go through a punishment the way that we want them to go through, or we would prefer for somebody to be the person that we want them to be, you know what I'm saying? But, or it's vice versa, switch it up, you know what I'm saying? There's times that people would want you to go through something that, you know what I'm saying, that the Most High is not taking you through, or people would want you, you know what I'm saying, to, you know what I'm saying, be somebody who you were truly not, right? And so the thing about it is the Most High gives us favor, just like he did with with Jonathan and David, you know what I'm saying? Saul was not the determining factor. Saul was a king who elected David, most definitely, but he was not the determining factor. The determining factor, you know what I'm saying, was what the Most High says, right? So you have to keep in mind that in these situations, you know what I'm saying, that people go through in life and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, this is just encouragement to a lot of people, right? Is that you have to make sure that you consider yourself to be favorable, you know what I'm saying, because you have favor on you. Another thing that stemmed this you know what I'm saying, thought is that I was chilling. There was a brother who was doing his, you know what I'm saying, a podcast or whatever. And, I was in the comments and there were some people that was talking about that they don't believe that the Most High is real. So, you know what I'm saying, it was myself and a few other brothers that was, you know what I'm saying, like giving the brother encouragement and proof that the Most High is real. One of the things he asked was, how was there proof? You know what I'm saying? How can somebody give him proof? And I told him simply, I said, breathe. I said, that's proof enough. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to wake up today. There's a lot of people who did not wake up today, right? And so if you realize that there's not a lot of people that woke up, you know what I'm saying, then it means that there is something that is actually keeping you alive in order for you to be able to have a chance, you know what I'm saying? And so you might not even be deserving of it. And so in the midst of that, I started thinking, how many people will cast judgment on other people, you know what I'm saying, wanting people to pay for something and all this extra type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people I see, and that's another reason too why I say this, is because I see a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, in the world, you know what I'm talking about, and also on social media that'll be like, oh, well, kill them, or they should be dead, or whatever, or they should, you know what I'm saying, I want them to see them suffering and stuff like this, right? And it's crazy because it's like, these are the same people that don't consider themselves. That's why I say it's a positive manner and a negative manner. You know what I'm saying? You have to consider yourself, consider thyself. There's times that you have, you know what I'm saying, messed around and had mislead men or women, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, have been in certain stages, you know what I'm saying, of your life, right? And so you have created soul ties, you have created, you know what I'm saying, calamity in people's lives, you have been destructive, you have also, you know what I'm saying, done things that are wicked that you don't disclose, right? But then somebody that you deem to be, I guess, lesser than you or whatever, you want them to go through something or whatever, you know what I'm saying, but you don't consider yourself. The Most High could have easily put you in many situations, you know what I'm talking about, in your life for you to have to suffer and have it long suffering, but there's something about, you know what I'm saying, the mercy that he is giving you in order for you to be able to get into a position to where you can get right. You know what I'm saying? Some people are in positions to where they still don't believe, but they still continue to do so, you know what I'm saying? And the Most High is just extending it, you know what I'm saying, which is giving extended grace. And they don't believe it, you know what I'm saying, because they still, but he knows, you know what I'm saying, everything is preordained, so he knows, you know what I'm saying, to what limit to be able to get somebody and hit them where it hurts, or be able to, you know what I'm saying, basically, you know what I'm saying, woo somebody over into his love, right? And so this is another thing, is that a lot of people choose to truly play gods among, you know what I'm saying, man and woman, but they're not really healed. And that's another thing, is that there are a lot of people that will facade. And so when these people facade and they're not really healed, you know what I'm saying, this is why they don't consider themselves. They'll consider everything else except for themselves. You know what I'm saying? These will be people that will like the ideology of something. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of us that will speak truth to people, that will fellowship with people and stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? But the simple time you don't do or say what they want you to say or do, you know what I'm saying, then they get very upset, disappointed with you, you know what I'm saying, and ready to cast you out. And so when you realize that, you realize that this comes from an unhealed, you know what I'm saying, attribute that this person has, you know what I'm saying, an unhealed spectrum. Because there's something there that, you know what I'm saying, because manipulation only comes with, manipulation, you know what I'm saying, comes with a form of, you know what I'm saying, undervalue. And what I mean by that is like, when you truly value yourself and somebody don't do something that you want them to do or say what you want them to say, you truly don't care. It's like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying, you have a thing that you have value for yourself where it's like, well, you know what, I know that I don't control everything, so therefore, you know what I'm saying, I have the ability to what is that saying? It's like, give me the strength, you know what I'm saying, to accept what I cannot control. You know what I'm saying? So because you have acceptance, you know what I'm saying, in who you are and know whose you are, and you have love within yourself and with the Father, then you know that, okay, well, certain things are just going to happen. So, hey, it's out of my control. You know what I'm saying? I can only do what is within, you know what I'm saying, the boundaries of the will of the Father who has sent me, you know what I'm saying, and people into my life for us to be able to orchestrate and correlate whatever we need to, right? So this is what I mean, because those who don't have that type of mentality are controlling, and it's because it was a lack of something in their life. You know what I'm saying? Whether it not been loved, whether it not been them being loved properly, you know what I'm saying, nurtured, you know what I'm saying, effectively, you know what I'm saying, or cast out and played with and stuff like this. So therefore this like their mechanism for them to feel like that they have some type of pull, you know what I'm saying, in control on their reality. Right? Because then it makes them feel like that they actually have some type of, that they matter, really. It's them telling themselves that they matter, you know what I'm saying, until they get to the point of, well, I matter more than whoever or whatever. This is that thing, right? That's why I say it's a misnomer, right? So when we understand that, then we understand that, you know what I'm saying, the people that are around us that try to, you know what I'm saying, like outcast or castrate us or downplay us and all this extra stuff, you know what I'm saying, they don't consider themselves. Now the thing about you, right, is that you have to realize is that as you keep walking in your destiny and you keep walking in your self-growth and development, you know what I'm saying, you keep walking in, you know what I'm saying, your righteousness, because people think that righteousness is just, oh, well, you're a perfect person. That's not what it is. It's that you're willing to be able to combat those things that continuously, you know what I'm saying, tug at you. You know what I'm saying? Some people can have like a lustful mind, but they don't adhere to it. They rebuke it and cast it off. You know what I'm saying? Some people can have a deep fetish for money, you know what I'm saying, or, you know what I'm saying, alcohol or whatever, or just many just different things, you know what I'm saying, that create transgressions, you know what I'm saying, against the laws and statutes of the Most High, you know what I'm saying, and against the brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, of whom they are around their circumference, right? So whenever we understand that, you know what I'm saying, then it's one of those things that we really get that, oh, you know what I'm saying, righteousness really is just you actually fighting, you know what I'm saying, and winning against those things that are trying to, because it's an uphill battle, you know what I'm saying, most definitely. Everybody fights. One thing about that is this verse. So Proverbs 20:9, it says, who can say I have made my heart clean? I am pure from my sin, right? And this is a great, you know what I'm saying, statement, is because nobody is pure from their sin. You know what I'm saying? Everybody always has something that tempts them, that grabs them. You know what I'm saying? There's things that people fight against, and people will be out here facading like that they don't have to fight against anything. You know what I'm saying? Now, one thing is that those who really know the battle, you know what I'm saying, are like, they're understandable that, okay, well, you know what I'm saying, I adore those who walk upright, who have released those things, you know what I'm saying, and that are fighting, because every day it could be something. It could, and sometimes it might not even be the main thing that they dealt with. It could be just, you know what I'm saying, a dream. They can be attacked in, you know what I'm saying, the dream realm and stuff like that. So then there's marine spirits, you know what I'm saying, or sorcery or witchcraft attacks that has been set, you know what I'm saying, to try to deter a person, you know what I'm saying, and distract them or keep them into something, or, you know what I'm saying, basically make them dabble into something where it can actually take seeding and effect, you know what I'm saying, over their lives. So they battle with that, you know what I'm saying. It's just many, because the battle is many different things, right? And so when I say this is what I'm saying, is that because people who really realize the real, you know what I'm saying, know that they're not perfect. It's the people who don't want to change, but they view these people as, you know, they see their growth as, you know what I'm saying, something that is something that's triggering. You know what I'm saying? So then they choose to go and use the excuse that, oh, well, you think you're better than me. This is a lot of people. They see you doing something different. Oh, you changed up. Oh, you fancy now, huh? Oh, you think you better than me. You know what I'm saying? All this type of stuff. Oh, well, you not doing what you used to do, but you used to do that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, you just think you too good. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's that is operating in that said that they're too good. It's the mindset of those people who try to, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and misjudge you, you know what I'm saying, in misappropriation, you know what I'm saying. And so when we see that, they don't consider themselves, right? It's the same thing like with Haggai, you know what I'm saying. Haggai, which I got it right here, which the prophet Haggai used the Hebrew word soon, right, which means to attend to ask the Jews to carefully assess their neglect of the temples, right? So even in the midst of that, there are people that will neglect, you know what I'm saying, they will neglect their actions, you know what I'm talking about, towards a people. It's the same thing like the system, how the system is, you know what I'm saying. This government will do the same thing. They're so able to, you know what I'm saying, try to cast a person in, you know what I'm saying, cast them into jail, or, you know what I'm saying, cast their judgments on them, or, you know what I'm saying, basically do all kind of atrocious acts, you know what I'm saying, of treason and stuff like that against people, right? And then when it comes to them, you know what I'm saying, they want to try to clean up the mess. This is why we have a lot of people that are at the top, you know what I'm saying, who try to go ahead and put fall guys and all this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying, because they want to throw rocks and hide their hands, right? And so when we understand that, then we see it for what it is, you know what I'm saying. This is one of them things they don't consider themselves. But the thing about it is, the Most High has this thing that he does to make you consider yourself. So this also goes into, you know what I'm saying, another point that like what we was talking about last night, you know what I'm saying, within the conversation of old dude, you know what I'm saying, is that because he was saying that he don't believe that the Most High is real, you know what I'm saying. And so how are we able to, and so I'm like that sometimes also that the Most High will allow situations, you know what I'm saying, and for you to be in order for you to have to depend upon him, you know what I'm saying. Now, in the midst of that, there's another conversation that I had, or another conversation that I had heard, you know what I'm saying, from a brother a few days back that was talking about that, why don't the Most High just allow, why don't he just do all the stuff himself, you know what I'm saying. And like part of that goes into what I just said as far as, you know what I'm saying, allowing certain things for people to depend upon him, because he uses people, you know what I'm saying, because he knows that in the midst of it, he can do it all himself, but there are so many aspects that go into it, having people to depend on him, you know what I'm saying, having people to humble and allow themselves, you know what I'm saying, to be humble, because a person that does not humble themselves, people think that, oh, well, humble, you know what I'm saying. The thing about it is, you know what I'm saying, is we're all unworthy. Let's just keep it real, right? We're all unworthy, you know what I'm saying. Those people who say that they shouldn't have to humble themselves or whatever, you know what I'm saying, hold themselves to a certain esteem, you know what I'm saying, rather than actually being able to operate in humility, right? Humility is basically being able to have the consideration, you know what I'm talking about, for your brothers and sisters, and considering yourself as well in the matter, where you mess around and you can have an argument with an individual, and so you'll end up, you know what I'm saying, trying to prove yourself to be right, so you don't let them talk, and you just keep, because you want to keep getting your case and point out, but then it's only right in your eyes. But yet there's other aspects that if you allow yourself to be quiet and listen to what the person is saying, then it's like, oh, you know what? Oh, I can see. Okay, so it was just a miscommunication. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes even just allowing a person who you know that is truly wrong just to be like, okay, well, you know what? You can have it if that's what you want. You want to win, then go ahead, you take it. You know what I'm saying? If it make you feel that much bigger, then go ahead, put your big boy, big girl pants on, and you take it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm cool at peace, because anything that costs me my peace costs me too much. That's a lot of mentality of people who are truly healed, who are really operating, you know what I'm saying, in a safe space within themselves, right? So when you keep this in mind, then you know that humility is that. Humility is also knowing that you give the janitor the same respect that that you give the CEO of the company. But because you put yourself as well, the situations that I had, you know what I'm saying, in the past were unnerving to me. So therefore, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to tell myself psychologically that I'm better than those situations, which is not a problem. The problem is that whenever you choose to deny those situations, so now whenever people that you get around, you try to hang around people that, you know what I'm saying, are on a higher plateau, and then, you know what I'm saying, you facade and be like, okay, because you're trying to soak up game most definitely from those people, but at the same time, you're acting like that you never went through a struggle in your life, you know what I'm saying, just so you can appease these people. But then if any of these people say certain things, you know what I'm saying, because they haven't experienced what you experienced, it becomes a trigger to you. So then you start feeling a certain type of way against these people, right? And so this is what I mean with that. You know what I'm saying? So to actually for real be humble is to know that, to humble yourself is to know that you are not really worthy, you know what I'm saying, but yet you are favored. Because you have an opportunity, you know what I'm saying, the Most High is still serving you, even though you're not worthy. This is where the beauty comes in, is that even though you're not worthy, the Most High is like, you know what, you know what I'm saying, I want to go ahead and exalt you in a situation. I want to go ahead and give you something, you know what I'm saying, to show you that I really love you enough that I want you to see, and I want those people that did not consider you to see, you know what I'm saying, that I'm working through you or working with you in your life or doing the work in your life. Because for one, you know what I'm saying, this is to show you that I love you and I exist. For two, this is to show, you know what I'm saying, those people that, hey, I exist and don't mess with my anointed, you know what I'm saying, because I have favor over them. You know what I'm saying? And for three, to encourage you to stand in the faith of the things that are unseen so you can consider it, you know what I'm saying, not strange whenever it's time for you to really stand up and walk into the things of uncomfortability, but to have confidence in those situations to make it through that, right? So when you understand this and you overstand this, then you see that it's very, very, you know what I'm saying, it is a very deep blessing, you know what I'm saying, for people to have that type of commune with the Father, you know what I'm saying, for him to be able to show up and show out for these people, you know what I'm saying, because some people just look at other people and they'll be like, okay, well, this person has an anointing on their life, you know what I'm saying, I wish I can be like that, you know what I'm talking about. But the Most High is blessing you in certain situations. This goes back to what I was saying whenever old buddy was like, prove that he's real, and I said breathe in, you know what I'm saying, the fact that you can breathe and not a lot of people have woken up, you know what I'm saying, awakened this day. Okay. You cannot have this broadcast, sir, you can name Jesus Christ. Okay, so look, right, so like what I was saying is that what I was saying with Buddy is that even though he's able to awaken, you know what I'm saying, maybe the Most High has not used him yet to do certain things, you know what I'm saying, but you cannot be jealous of somebody or not in the name of the Father and through the Spirit. All right. So yeah. So just because somebody has something, you know what I'm saying, and they're being exalted in something, does not mean that you are not considered, right? And this is what I'm saying, is because sometimes people will be like, okay, well, they will look at themselves in the situation that they're in or whatever, or the situation that they desire to be, and they will exclude themselves of consideration, you know what I'm saying, aside from the judgment thing, right? Because I'm telling you, I'm giving you two different aspects of it. So aside from these things, people mess around and be like, okay, well, you know, they're anointed, they have something on them, whatever, and so then it's like, well, he don't operate in my life like that, so therefore I won't consider it, or I don't think that, you know what I'm saying, he really exists, you know what I'm talking about. So you have to realize that in the midst of the things that you are going through, there's times that you have haven't been able to maybe pay a bill or something, you know what I'm saying, and then all of a sudden something ended up happening. Or you may not have been able to pay a bill, you know what I'm saying, and then something just fell through. You know what I'm saying? So then it made it to where it's like, dang, but in the midst of that, he's wanting you to depend upon him. Because in the midst of it, it's like, well, I don't believe and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? If he really did not want you, you know what I'm saying, to have an experience in life and to suffer, he would have already took you off the gameplay. He would have took you off the board. You know what I'm saying? He'd have been like, you know what? I'm gonna take you off. And you wouldn't be here today. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be in your ongoings to be able to receive certain things, to acknowledge certain things, for people to acknowledge you, you know what I'm saying, for you to even have self-awareness and coming into certain things about yourself and being able to even love yourself and know that you truly are worthy. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing, right? I know somebody's like, well, you said that we're not worthy. The thing is we not, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, he had made us. So therefore, because of, you know what I'm saying, salvation that has been given and the supplication and stuff like this within our lives, you know what I'm saying, in the provocation, you know what I'm saying, that has been given that's been given over us with the grace and, you know what I'm saying, abundance of prosperity and stuff like that, right? Then that makes us worthy. But we can truly choose, you know what I'm saying, because you choose not to be worthy, you know what I'm saying, or not like that. Let me not say that. People have a choice to be righteous, to be upright, you know what I'm saying? And so in the midst of people having an opportunity and a choice to be upright, you know what I'm saying, then this means that you are chasing something, or that you are trying to, you know what I'm saying, have an intimate relationship, you know what I'm saying, with somebody that is, you know what I'm saying, beyond you. This shows humility. This also shows humbleness. So for those people that'll be like, well, I don't want to humble, you humble yourself. You'll humble yourself for the boss at the job to tell you to go ahead and do with this or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you won't, now you might not give them that respect, but you still humble yourself, because you're not just going to be like, oh, well, you know what, I don't have to do this or whatever, otherwise you wouldn't have the job. You know what I'm saying? Police officer could mess around and pull you over and give you a ticket or whatever, and you humble yourself. You know what I'm saying? You might not feel like that, you know what I'm saying, you humble yourself enough, or like, because you might be a little mouthy or whatever, but you're not finna get super out of line, you know what I'm saying, in order for him to lock you up and escort yourself, you know what I'm talking about, to the precinct, right? So there's some humility in that. So that's the thing, is that there's always things in life that makes you, you know what I'm saying, humble yourself. You know what I'm talking about? It's just that some people don't like to be humbled. People look at humble as a weakness, you know what I'm saying, instead of a superpower, right? Well, it means that I need to bow down to somebody else or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's not really you bowing down to somebody else. What it is showing, you know what I'm saying, that you have enough respect for yourself, you know what I'm saying, to actually be like, you know what, I consider my brother or my sister, you know what I'm saying, able to do something that I can't do, you know what I'm saying, and so therefore I want to learn how to do it, or I give them that respect or whatever, you know what I'm saying, because I respect myself, because I know that if I was in their shoes, I want somebody to be able to, you know what I'm saying, give me the same type of respect, right? And so it's two differences with this, is that the people who will be like, well, I think that humbling is weak and it's something of a slave mentality, you know what I'm saying, you're looking at it in this misappropriation, you know what I'm saying, you're looking at it as the thing that the slave masters have messed around and gave you, you know what I'm saying, for you to feel like that, oh, well, to humble myself is through slavery and all this extra stuff. No, that's not that. It does not mean be a slave to somebody, you know what I'm saying. It means to be able to have, you know what I'm saying, admittance with a person, right, that you deem, you know what I'm saying, worthy. So it's the same thing like whenever you were in a relationship. The reason, like, this is another reason why I said the men and the women thing earlier. Like I said, it's not about men and women, but there's a lot of people that would be like, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to take advice from my dude, or I don't want to believe what my girl is saying, you know what I'm saying, and all this type of stuff. And it's like, you don't want to humble yourself because it causes you to be an act of service. It causes you to be able to come into a thing called submission, you know what I'm saying. And so when it comes into a thing of submission, you know what I'm saying, this shows that people thinking that submission is just giving up all your power. So they think humble and submissive means to basically feel like that you are lesser than a person and then just give them all access and act like that you don't have any existence or whatever. That's not what it is, you know what I'm saying. Whenever you go into a class to learn, you know what I'm saying, you are being submissive. Whenever you are on a job to learn something, you know what I'm saying, and how to be able to do that job, you are being submissive. Whenever you are going through life and living in your experiences, you know what I'm saying, in order for you to grow, you are submitting to the experience, right? So when we understand that, then it's like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying, but this is what I'm saying because of you know what I'm saying, there have been people who have I guess exalted themselves over a people, which would be those who govern the mind government, you know what I'm saying. For they look at it from this standpoint, is that, oh well, you know what I'm saying, humble will mean that, so therefore they don't consider themselves, nor they consider their brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, for them to be able to have that respect for, you know what I'm saying, with also especially, you know what I'm saying, the Most High. You'll submit to your government, but you won't submit to the Father. You know what I'm saying? That should be an issue. Some people be like, well, I don't believe, you know what I'm saying. Another thing that I said is that, you know what I'm saying, another thing that I said is that, you know what I'm saying, thoughts, basically, right? Thoughts are not seen, you know what I'm saying, but they still exist. A thought is not seen, but it still, you know what I'm saying, exists, right? The air is not seen, but it's still felt, right? So this is that same thing. Faith is being able to have the faith in something that is unseen. You know what I'm saying? Let me kind of minimize it so people can be able to get it. Let me like make it really simplistic, right? Aside from its complexity, is that you have awoken this day. You have awoken this day, right? For you to have plans to go do something. Whether you walking, whether you driving, you know what I'm saying, you riding a bike, you know what I'm saying. Faith is knowing that you're going to get to your destination, though you haven't made it to your destination yet. You're getting on that bike knowing that you're going to make it, but yet not knowing that the bike can easily break down. Get into that car and, you know what I'm saying, something can end up happening to that car and you might not be able to make it. Being able to walk to the destination and having unseen faith in your body that your body is not going to give out on the way to the destination, right? You see that? This is what faith is. Because the thing is unseen. You know that there's a destination to get to. You know that there's something that you have to do, you know what I'm saying? But yet you end up having faith, unseen faith, you know what I'm saying, whether you choose to believe it or not, that you're going to get there to that destination. That's how faith. It's the same thing with the Father. Yeah, they're going to keep trying to mess with the live, you know what I'm saying? I see that now. It don't matter where I'm at or where I go, it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's cool because I know the enemy is working. You see the people calling me, and the thing that's crazy is that it's so, I don't even know these numbers that's calling me, you know what I'm saying? And yet, I'm like, what's these numbers calling me? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they're trying to be a distraction. They've been doing it all morning through me praying and stuff like this, you know what I'm saying, and reading my word and stuff like that. They've been doing it. You know what I'm saying? They're doing it on the live, then they got this type of thing. So the enemy is very much mad. I'll tell you why the enemy is mad really quickly. It's because in the 3 o'clock hour, you know what I'm saying, I was fighting against the enemy. The enemy kept trying to make me sleepy and stuff like that. I get right back and be like, you know what? Now I'm shaking it off. And he like, no, you know what I'm saying? So whenever you piss off the enemy, you know what I'm saying, the enemy gonna do this type of stuff, right? So just keep that in mind. But the thing about this is a good teachable moment as well, is, you know what I'm saying, you see I'm not letting them steal my joy. So that's the main thing, right? There we go, I have to pop my finger. I'm not letting them steal my joy. So that's the main thing, is that you don't let your enemy steal your joy. You know what I'm saying? That's what they want to do, is they want to try to do whatever they can, you know what I'm saying? And so now you also have to think this, right, is that when people allow themselves to be used, or they allow themselves to try to bring you down or tear you down or tarnish you or whatever, you know what I'm saying, these people must consider themselves, and you must consider those people weak, right? Now, don't mean to belittle them, but you just consider them weak, because, you know what I'm saying, The weak are the ones that mess around, you know what I'm saying, doing the most and stuff like that, while those who are strong is like, hey, we're just going to keep pushing and doing what we do, you know what I'm saying? So this is what weakness is. Demons operate through weak things, you know what I'm saying? Thus, if you have weak reception or, you know what I'm saying, weak-minded people, you know what I'm saying, then it's easier for them to be able to be like, oh, you know what, and then project into a negative aspect, right? So keep that in mind as well, you know what I'm saying? So consider yourself stronger than your counterparts or those who, you know what I'm saying? All right, so now I'm looking at this, right, where it says here, this is Proverbs 20 and 27, where it says, the spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly, right? So in the other video, the one before the last one, you know what I'm saying, I think, was that one enemies? That any demons have over this broadcast, I know and void them, and I render them powerless. I claim holy fire over these things and over these entities that you are sending, over these assignments that shall burn in holy fire in the name of Jesus the Christ, Yahushua HaMashiach. May they be denounced and may they be bound up and may the bonds be broken. You know what I'm saying? In the name of the Savior. So, like I said, the spirit of man is a candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. So there was a video that I spoke about where, you know what I'm saying, the spirit is in the belly. You know, the soul is in the mind. And so in this scripture it says this. Now, there's other Bibles and other texts that will say in the heart. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to do something to see what, you know, why they change it from that to that. But that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, is, you know what I'm saying, the inward parts. Now, there's another verse that jumped down to 20:30, and it says, the blueness of a wound cleanseth away evil, so do the stripes of the inward parts of the belly, right? So now, what I'm saying within this is that consider the situations that you go through, you know what I'm saying, of being able to develop spiritual maturity, you know what I'm saying, for you to be able to even develop your spirituality, right? Because the thing about it is that a lot of people will think that, you know what I'm saying, like, spirituality is separate from the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Spirituality, and these are people that talk about, they'll pretend like they gurus and spiritualists and all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? If they're not talking about the Most High, most definitely, you know what I'm saying, then keep in mind that it's other things. Because you have to keep in mind this, is that spirituality is a connection, right? A divine connection. So it's being able to connect to the source. Now, there are entities that will be jealous, and so they will end up trying to emulate, you know what I'm saying, and try to redirect into a different, you know what I'm saying, source. There's the Most High, and then there's Satan. Those things that operate on a lower vibration, you know what I'm saying, will want to drag you down. So they have high ranks, but in a lower vibration. You know what I'm saying? And so this is why spirituality, you know what I'm saying, well, people will be like, well, there's many other different ways of spirituals. This is those who serve other gods, you know what I'm saying? Those things are demonic, you know what I'm saying? The Most High is the Most High for a reason, right? So when people are trying to take spirituality and conform it into something totally, excuse me, when they're trying to conform it into something totally different, you know what I'm saying, then this shows that they're being influenced, you know what I'm saying, by something that is still outside themselves, but that is of a negative connotation. There'll be people who will try to combat that and argue with this things that look at the lifestyle, you know what I'm saying. One thing with that is this, is that because you have to suffer for a little while and you have to be able to fight through certain things, that fight is what makes people be like, well, I've already been kind of fighting all my life. All my life I had to fight. You know what I'm saying? So therefore they get deterred from it. They're like, you know what? This ain't for me. If I got to do all this, you know what I'm saying, But it's the same thing like a person going into the gym. So it's like you going to the gym and then you start doing the workout and stuff, and then it's like, well, dang, you know what I'm saying? I'm starting to kind of hurt. I don't want to do this. This ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? You have to have some type of form, you know what I'm saying, a formula for resistance, you know what I'm talking about, and being able to utilize the situations to work in your benefit instead of working against you. People want the 6-minute abs, you know what I'm saying, instead of the 6-month abs. The 6-minute abs or microwavable abs or microwavable body is a thing that is given, you know what I'm saying, via gratification of doing, you know what I'm saying, lower spiritual practices. You know what I'm saying? This is why people can cast a spell on a person, you know what I'm saying, and then they can end up dabbling into it, and it might end up kind of working a lot more faster than somebody who is praying and who has to wait for, you know what I'm saying, the process. Because the Most High is taking pride in the workmanship of the process, to have you fall in love with the process, you know what I'm saying, and to go ahead and give you the justification, vindication, and gratification, the sanctification and deliverance, you know what I'm saying, through the hardships of that thing. So you know that it really works. It's just like a person messing around, you know what I'm saying, and wooing another person just for them to go ahead and only experience them temporarily, you know what I'm saying, for a small time, compared to actually doing the work, you know what I'm saying, in order to have them for a lifetime, right? Now, another thing that we need to keep in mind is this, right, is that via the microwavable, you know what I'm saying, gratification or whatever, right, there's this thing that you have to keep in mind. And there was a sister that had brought this up, you know what I'm saying, in one of her podcasts. And she was basically saying that, you know what I'm saying, the bait don't get to keep the catch. And I like the way she said it, you know what I'm saying, because I already understand that, you know what I'm saying. And so what that means basically is that the people that operate, you know what I'm saying, in the things of you know what I'm saying, divisiveness, wickedness, or whatever, you know what I'm saying, self-loathing, you know what I'm saying, their own self-exaltation, you know what I'm saying, self-gratification and all this type of stuff in order to attain somebody. The reason why they don't have that, they're not able to keep that person, is because, you know what I'm saying, they have been used as bait, you know what I'm saying, via an entity or something that is, you know what I'm saying, aside from themselves. So they were just used as the bait in order to go ahead, you know what I'm saying, yeah, they can dabble a little bit, you know what I'm talking about, with the catch, you know what I'm saying, but the catch is not for them. They're not going to be with the catch, you know what I'm saying, permanently. This is why a lot of people have messed up relationships and stuff like that, and relationships don't work, is because you have used seductiveness, you know what I'm saying, you have used tempting, you have used alluring things, you know what I'm saying, different lusters, right, be it money or working your body, showing your body out to the women, or vice versa, women showing the body, you know what I'm saying, the bait and catch, right? And then, you know what I'm saying, just because you have the ideology of a person, but because they don't fit in the box of what it is, then whenever you actually have to deal with this person, then it's like, you know what, oh, this ain't for me, you know what I'm saying. There's times that, you know what I'm saying, many brothers will mess around and they'll mess around and basically make themselves seem like that they have a genuine authenticity to take care of a female, you know what I'm saying. Basically, okay, well, let me go ahead and do the savior. It's a savior complex. Well, they'll mess around and be like, well, let me go ahead and dish out this money and do whatever I need to do to make it seem like that I'm helping you out, you know what I'm saying. But once the woman is no longer gratifying the person and it becomes the norm, you know what I'm saying, then he starts to feel like, oh, you know what, this ain't for me, and he'll go do something else, and then she'll feel stuck out. And that's whenever the women will be like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, they don't really care, but at the same time, he has developed the psychological aspect in their mind, you know what I'm saying, that, well, a real man is going to do all these things. Now, most definitely they are, you know what I'm saying, but the thing about it is, you know what I'm saying, they consider themselves, well, they don't consider themselves to be fully worthy. They just consider themselves to be like, okay, well, this is just what it's supposed to be. And then with them considering themselves that, like, this is what it's supposed to be, then I said it wrong. They consider themselves worthy through the this is what it's supposed to be. Let me say it that way. Because whenever they consider it that, you know what I'm saying, then the person, they don't consider the person, you know what I'm saying, to be worthy. They just like, okay, this is what you're supposed to do for me, so therefore, so, you know what I'm saying, it's nothing that is given like a, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, it is that this person deserves respect or whatever, you know what I'm saying. So the enemy uses a lot of these different things, you know what I'm saying, as emulations and stuff like that to create a discord. This is why there's a lot of brothers, you know what I'm saying, that start feeling a certain type of way. It's like, well, I'm not finna go all out unless you my wife, which you're not supposed to, you know what I'm saying. And the same thing, there's a lot of women that will feel the same way. That's like, well, I'm not finna give him wifey results, you know what I'm saying, if he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, because he's not. And they, by all means, most definitely, respectfully, you know what I'm saying, that's their option, their opinion to do so, you know what I'm saying, because they have boundaries. They understand what they bring, you know what I'm saying. Now, aside from that, you know what I'm saying, there's a thing that that goes into, I seen it was something that somebody was like men can get a vasectomy and it can be reversed, and if a man feels some type of way about it, that's the same way he should feel. That's the same way that he should understand the woman feels about their body. Now, this is another part of consider thyself. Is if you know what I'm saying, just don't be promiscuous with a person and allow you to grow with the person without having to have, you know what I'm saying, any sexual connotations, sacred energy exchange, you know what I'm saying, and build in this corrective appropriation. Then you get to see what the person really is, right? Aside from you just having being hooked into, you know what I'm saying, the fleshy part of it. Because one thing is that, you know what I'm saying, it is advised already in scripture that we're not supposed to just, you know what I'm saying, just be freely consummating like that. But people don't want to consider themselves. They want to still do what they want to do and then be like, well, no, I don't agree with it, because now you have made laws against the laws that has been given, you know what I'm saying, via the Father. So it's just like, don't steal, or, you know what I'm saying, love your brother and sister or your neighbor or whatever, you know what I'm saying, honor thy mother and father. But because you like, well, no, well, this situation and this, so therefore I don't have to because of this. It's like, no, you making laws against, you know what I'm saying, so therefore you're creating your own transgressions. And then whenever certain things don't happen in your life the way that they should be, then you'll end up pouting and getting whiny and play a victim, you know what I'm saying, instead of being like, you know what, let me try to see this and try this and actually, you know what I'm saying, humble myself, you know what I'm saying, and allow certain things to work in life, you know what I'm saying, in my walk, on my journey, you know what I'm talking about. Now, you know, you take it or leave it. Most people will leave it, you know what I'm saying, but there are most people that will take it. And so what I mean by that, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna take that advice for real, because it works. Because there's many people that have been doing the opposite of what has been told for them to do, and the situation don't even work out, you know what I'm saying. So then they end up being lost in the sauce, and then they end up wondering why they're lost in the sauce. And so whenever they end up being lost in the sauce, and they do nothing but try to blame everybody else, you know what I'm saying. And it's because they really don't want to do the work. They don't want to look at themselves. They don't want to consider themselves, you know what I'm saying. So that's a part of that. I say that because I see a lot of brothers that'll mess around and be like, you know what I'm saying, well, women don't be needing to, you know what I'm saying, have abortion and stuff like this. And, you know what I'm saying, at the same time, it's like, well, bro, you really don't need to be, you know what I'm saying, having, you know what I'm saying, sexual encounters with her in that manner anyway. But you won't talk about that part with you. You won't be like that, oh yeah, I really need to be more responsible, and you know what I'm saying, because the scripture clearly says that if you want to do it that bad, then at least wife the person. You know what I'm saying? But people don't want to do that. So now we have a lot of people going around talking about, you know what I'm saying, that, oh, well, you shouldn't be doing this and you shouldn't be doing that. But how about we both shouldn't be doing certain things? How about really considering, you know what I'm saying, having honor, you know what I'm saying, virtue and valor and respect and love, you know what I'm saying, and, you know what I'm saying, generosity towards our you know what I'm saying, fellow brothers and sisters, right? Because that's another thing, is that there'll be dudes that'll mess around and be like, you know what, I don't really want her, but I still want to try to keep her, so they'll try to create a soul tie, and they'll mess around and try to impregnate her and stuff like that just to keep her around. You know what I'm saying? But that demon is using that person as a monitoring spirit, you know what I'm saying, as a person to go ahead and to decrease the opportunity of a person falling for her for real, you know what I'm saying, Yah ordained spouse, right? The one who's really ordained for her. And it's vice versa. It's the same thing. It's women that do it with men, you know what I'm saying? And there's a sister that was speaking on this thing as well, because I feel the same way about it. I feel very strongly. It's just crazy to see somebody else have the same type of mindset, you know what I'm saying? So all praises, you know what I'm saying, due to the Most High, most definitely, for allowing me to stumble across her podcast. You know what I'm saying? I can tell she was really talking in the spirit, you know what I'm saying, because she has experience with it. So I'm like, yeah, see, this is what, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm a person that I'm also very teachable, you know what I'm saying? Because there's some stuff that I'm not gonna regurgitate here, you know what I'm saying, that she had spoke that kind of like, that gave me insight about some things in life, and was like, you know what, this is why I like being able to be teachable, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, that's the thing is we, if we consider ourselves that way, you know, because I also see that there are people that are online that some people will come to them and ask them genuine questions, and then they'll be like, well, uh, you don't need to know if you got to ask. You know what I'm saying? Real person don't have to ask. And it's like, what you mean? You know what I'm saying? Life is always teachable. You know what I'm talking about? Even they'll be like, well, you ain't gonna learn nothing online. What you mean? That's the whole thing, is that there are people that are actually for real, genuine, that will try to explain and express and teach people, you know what I'm saying, online. Some people don't have these people around in their atmosphere to have the same type of mindset, you know what I'm saying, that somebody else might be able to have, that can help lead them out of their darkness. We're to lead each other out of the darkness. You know what I'm saying? How do we learn how to lead each other out of the darkness? By learning who the light is and being able to come into the power of the dark. You know what I'm saying? Right? One thing is this, right? So 2020, Proverbs 2020. I'm sorry, yeah, 2020. It says, "Whoso curseth his father or his mother, his lamp shall be put out in obscure darkness." Right? So that's one thing. Now, I'm not, this kind of, it's just the obscure darkness part that I'm speaking about. You know what I'm saying? Of course, that's something that needs to be said too. But, you know what I'm saying? The obscure darkness. What is the darkness? The darkness is not knowing. The darkness is being lost. You know what I'm saying? How do we end up getting out of the darkness? Being able to operate in the laws of righteousness, you know what I'm saying? The statutes of the Father, to be able to become a light. This is why it says that, you know what I'm saying? What's that scripture? That basically says that a light, you know what I'm saying, a light should be put on a high mountain, you know what I'm saying, not underneath a table or a cabinet or whatever, you know what I'm saying. Whenever you become a light, then you are able to, you know what I'm saying, shine bright and enlighten other people. That's another reason why they try to call it, well, the Illuminati will call it, you know what I'm saying, illumination, and they end up using it for their thing, you know what I'm saying, of Satanism and Luciferic practices. So this is an emulation of them, you know what I'm saying, with the Father. So that's the thing, is that when you understand that for real, you know what I'm saying, then you see what it is. And so that's why I say that we're supposed to be lights, you know what I'm saying, to lead each other into the light, right? To purity, you know what I'm saying, righteousness, long suffering, endurance, compassion, kindness, you know what I'm saying, patience, you know what I'm talking about, like gentleness. All these things, these are things that are good fruits of righteousness. We know there are fruits of wickedness, you know what I'm saying, but we're not those that bear bad fruits. You know what I'm saying? You can tell a person by their fruits. Sometimes people will mess around and just look at it through this lens and be like, okay, well, I don't really see what you're really doing, and these same people will be the ones that be scary, that won't even reach out to people, you know what I'm saying, to even get involved with what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Now, I get it. There are certain people that are staged, you know what I'm saying, via psyop, and there are people who are their own, you know what I'm saying, selfish desire. So the thing that they do is they like to try to tear down other people who are trying to build up certain things. You know what I'm saying? And so they'll still take the ideologies from these people and tear those people down, and then act like that these people don't exist and stuff like that, and then still have to come back to those people for the blueprint, but they don't have the blueprint, you know what I'm saying? So this is why their stuff might look kind of similar, but it's wobbly, it's really wonky, it don't stick. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing, you know what I'm saying, with the same thing, like those who are hypocrites, heretics, you know what I'm saying, and Pharisees, right? So this is why it don't, because that's why the enemy is trying to use, or able to use, confusion with that. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, the main thing, the point that I'm just trying to point out, you know what I'm saying, is because it's two different messages in one, you know what I'm saying, speaking on those who are on the lower vibration and those who are on the higher vibration, you know what I'm saying. Just consider thyself, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes things might not just work out the way that you want them to work out in life, you know what I'm saying. So don't just write yourself off, you know what I'm saying. Still consider yourself, you know what I'm saying, worthy for things to happen, you know what I'm saying. It doesn't happen the way that you might want it to happen, you know what I'm saying. Let me see here. I think there's something right here, right? It's not right here. I seen it somewhere. I should have marked it. I should have marked it whenever I, you know what I'm saying, marked it and wrote it down. Sometimes I see it and it be like, it catch me and be like, ooh, let me see if I can find, maybe it's right here. Let me see. Give me one moment. Yeah, it's not here. I don't know where I read that at, but it's basically like it stood out to me, because that's another thing is whenever you read the scriptures and you know what I'm saying, you read it, then you know what I'm saying, basically ingest the things of the spirit, you know what I'm saying, that's given to you in the spirit. This is why two people, a carnal person and a spiritual person, a person that's operating in the spirit and a person that's operating just in carnality, can read the same scripture. The person in the spirit will have a deeper, you know what I'm saying, interpretation and understanding of, you know what I'm saying, because they are connected through spirit, spirituality, the connection, the bridge, the gap between the Father and creation, right? The communication part of us, that part, okay, is how they're able to understand it. I said it like that because there's something I said earlier in the video about spirituality, right? But regardless, a person who is carnal is not going to be able to see it for what it is. So this is why you have a lot of people that are in high places and stuff like that, but they are fully carnal. So therefore, they did not really have any type of interpretation or also, you know what I'm saying, understanding, you know what I'm talking about the context of which is given. So this is why they will look towards somebody else who might have something and be like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, those who operate in the spirit, who see it for what it is, you know what I'm saying, definitely see it. This also gives you know what I'm saying, basically notion into those who know my voice, those who should know my voice will hear it, you know what I'm saying. And so this is the same way that, you know, those of us who are connected, you know what I'm saying, who actually use the Ruach HaKodesh, this is the Holy Spirit, you know what I'm saying. Other people can be talking about something, and we know that the Most High operates with them because of what they're saying in the spirit, you know what I'm saying. So we see it for what it is. Oh, okay, yeah, well, we know that you know the Father. So that's another thing, you know what I'm saying. That's why a lot of people want to be like, they think that, you know what I'm saying, that it's just people facading or whatever, and so they'll end up mimicking these type of people. You see what I'm saying? But it don't stick, because it's like, well, all right, well, let me hear your experience about life. And you know what I'm saying, the person will start to say certain stuff and fall off. It's because they're not really connected. They're just mimicking and emulating something that, you know what I'm saying, they have. It's like a person talking about they're a grade A mechanic, but they never worked on cars. Now, they've YouTubed a lot of, you know what I'm saying, things about how to work on a car, but now when it's time for them to work on the car, you know what I'm saying, they don't know the right tools for real. They don't know which manner to turn it, which direction for real. They don't know what bit and piece is, you know what I'm saying. They don't even know the mechanics of for real what it is physically, you know what I'm saying, because they've only just viewed it. They haven't had the for real experience. You see that? All right. So one thing I want to say really quick before we end this as well, you know what I'm saying, I won't try to make this long. It's probably already an hour, you know what I'm saying, is Hebrews 10:24, right, is tells people to consider one another, to provide love and good works, you know what I'm saying. So before you consider, you know what I'm saying, punishment or damnation, or, you know what I'm saying, or you know what I'm saying, what's that, accusation on a person, right? Consider yourself. But also, you know what I'm saying, before you even do any of that, you know what I'm saying, consider good works, consider love towards that person. Because there's many people that we live right now in the realm of where so many people will pretend like they have a great life, but they struggle with a lot of different stuff. And it'll be people that'll be like, oh, well, I might not have the same lifestyle as you or whatever, so therefore I'm going to poke my fingers at you, you know what I'm saying, and everything. But last time I checked, whenever you do this to a person, you have this many pointing right back at you. You know what I'm saying? And so people will end up trying to cover these up and keep doing this, you know what I'm saying? And so, and not knowing that person could be on the brink of committing suicide, or, you know what I'm saying, doing a bad choice that might end up messing up their future and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So whenever we consider ourselves, you know what I'm saying, or consider one another to be able to provoke unto love and good works with each other, you know what I'm saying, then we can actually be a person that's helping the person to be inspired and encouraged that, hey, well, don't have to go that way, you know what I'm saying? Just because everybody else don't feel you, I feel you, you know what I'm saying? So I love you. So therefore, just know that it might be tough today, but it'll be even better tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Heck, it might even be tough tomorrow, but know that you got somebody that's standing in the gap with you. You got people that really pray for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't even have to know you for real all the way. You know what I'm saying? I pray for so many things seriously. You know what I'm saying? People who do not do the work will project onto other people who do the work and feel like that, oh, well, no, it's just a facade. No, you're a facade. People who really do the work, you know what I'm saying, know what it's like. So therefore, this is why we can keep the same mannerism and just be like, hey, man, look, I got respect and adoration for you, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to just mistreat us any type of way. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, if you're going to judge righteously, you know what I'm saying, because this is another reason why it says in scripture, you know what I'm saying, judge not lest ye be judged. It's because whenever you're judging for the outside part and not the inward part, then people will judge you the same way. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you were being judged, if you were judging the inward part, then it's like it goes into correction. You see that? But people don't get it that deeply. They just look at it as, oh, well, if you judge somebody on righteousness, then you're going to be judged. Of course it's going to happen, but at the same time, it's correction. It's called reproof. Right? So another thing is this. Is Proverbs 19:7, and it's 19:17, my bad, Salaki. Says that whoever is generous, excuse me, whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay them. Right? So, spiritual wealth. Right? So those who are poor in spirit, this is why we don't judge the outside part. This is why we like, okay, well, I see you for the inside, and you know what I'm saying, you just not really wealthy spiritually. So let me try to fill you up. Now with that is going to come certain things that's going to be offensive, or certain things that's because, you know what I'm saying, the Most High uses this thing of uncomfortability to help grow a person. The process is not always going to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? The process is not always going to be comfortable. But in that uncomfortability, you know what I'm saying, you start learning things about yourself, things about the process, and also things about the Most High operating and how His Majesty operates, you know what I'm saying, and whose you are truly. So that's a blessing. So consider that, you know what I'm saying. Also, what is it? Let me see here. First Corinthians 10:24, which says that no one should seek their own good, right? But be good to their neighbor, right? So whenever you're seeking your own good, you know what I'm saying, then you're being inconsiderate. You know what I'm saying? Consider yourself. So if you were in a situation where the tables was flipped, how would you act? You know what I'm saying? If the person was doing you to you, would you like that or no? You know what I'm saying? Some people end up being like, well, I don't care about people like that or whatever, which is a lie. Because, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the people that will be narcissistic and have these type of attributes, you know what I'm saying, depend upon people. They have a supply. They depend on people, you know what I'm saying? They depend on people to be victimized, to have a victim mentality, so therefore they can go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, be like, okay, well, now I got me, you know what I'm saying, some victims and stuff like that, and I can sway them to do whatever. So those who be like, well, I don't care about people and all this type of stuff, and they're lying. Anybody that tells you that they don't care about people is lying. You know what I'm saying? They care about what they can get off a person. Now, this is a difference, you know what I'm saying? They care enough about what they can get off of a person, you know what I'm saying, or get out of a person. But, you know what I'm saying, those who truly care about a people care about what they can pour into a person, you know what I'm saying? what they can bring up in a person. You know what I'm saying? So that's another reason why I do these type of things. That's another reason why there's a lot of people that are like, hey, you know what I'm saying, you don't see me on here begging for anything and all this type of stuff. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? If anybody feels led, then most definitely, but not a lot of people do. You know what I'm saying? Nobody sold, so that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I know that eventually certain things will happen, and the Most High is like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Because he's giving me a promise. So I just know what that is. You know what I'm saying? But that's another part of it, is that falling in love with the process is knowing that in the midst of nobody really pouring, you know what I'm saying, into certain things to help, you know what I'm saying, grow for, because they don't even understand what this is about all the way anyway. They think it's just about a person that's just trying to get money just to do whatever, and it's not anything about that. You know what I'm saying? It's about an actual goal that I've had since a child to be able to do something, you know what I'm saying, for the community. But once everything falls into place, then people will finally be able to see. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm not tripping, because the Most High will use that situation to be like, yeah, see, I got him. Don't worry. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I just keep faith, because that's another thing, is as in the midst of that, he's working with me on certain things, you know what I'm saying? Just like he's working with you on certain things, right? He's strengthening my faith, you know what I'm saying? Because there's times where I'll be like, well, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Look, is it? And you know what I'm saying? And I really understand what, you know what I'm saying, the Messiah was feeling like whenever he was like, basically, you know, please don't have me to bear this cup, you know what I'm saying? Because what was given to me, right? And this is given to me last night, is that in the midst of him basically, you know what I'm saying, weeping that he have to bear the cup, was because he's doing something for people that he loved that don't even love him. So it's like, dang, you know what I'm saying, they already don't love me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to go ahead and do this, and it's like I'm suffering. How much more will I suffer, until he realized that, you know what, let thy will be done, because you're not going to mislead me. You're not going to take me somewhere that I don't need to go. You know what I'm saying? And everything is for a righteous cause. Sometimes your will, you know what I'm saying, might be something that requires me, you know what I'm saying, to catch a heavy L, but I know that in that heavy L, there's going to be a blessing for many others, because, you know what I'm saying, just as he has a flock, he will leave the whole flock for that, for the 99 for that one sheep. So when you understand that, then it's like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I love him, for real. And just being receptive, you know what I'm saying, and considering. Another thing is, what's this? What is it at? Is Philippians 2:3-11 basically says to do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but basically in humility, you know what I'm saying, considering others better than yourself, right? Because people always consider themselves better than others instead of considering others better than themselves. And when I say that, I don't mean like that somebody's better than you. It's saying that considering somebody before yourself, not yourself before somebody, right? So that's what it's saying, you know what I'm saying? The part that backs that up would be Ephesians 4:32, which is, you know what I'm saying, it basically says to be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, you know what I'm saying, just as in Christ, you know what I'm saying, and Yah has forgiven you, right? So that's another reason why I say that, because so many people, you know what I'm saying, now don't get me wrong, like, wicked people are wicked people, and they do deserve righteous wrath and everything like that. So don't take this as I'm just being like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, the enemies have done this to our children and done this and all this type of stuff, and let's just go ahead and hold hands with them. I'm not saying that at all. You know what I'm saying? So don't get that misconstrued at all, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, though, is that the reason why I made the video enemies is because those who present themselves enemies unbeknownst and knowingly, you know what I'm saying, that fall into these things, that we are to be able to, you know what I'm saying, have some type of forgiveness for these people. That goes back into Titus 3 and 2. Is it 3 and 2? 3 and 3, which basically talks about how, you know what I'm saying, that we were once of the world. We were once, you know what I'm saying, in diverse lusts and all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We were once transgressors against one another and everything like that. So there are people that are growing into something to grow up out of it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to have some type of form of compassion. It's a difference between a Judas and a Peter. You know what I'm saying? Like, consider a Peter, you know what I'm saying? But what comes for a Judas is what's going to come for a Judas, you know what I'm saying? But in the midst of that, you know what I'm saying, the Hamashiach, you know what I'm saying, still already knew that, okay, well, he's going to be the one to snake me out, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm going to still show love, because one thing is this, is that kindness kills harder than, you know what I'm saying, revenge. Think about the people that you have been toxic to in your life, and they have been nothing but loving to you, and it kills you whenever you think about these people, like, dang, I should have done them better and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? That's a wound that's hard to close. It's the same thing with these people. So that's the thing you got to keep in mind, right? So just keep that in mind, seriously. But consider yourselves. You know what I'm saying? There's a friend of mine that was talking about something, and it's crazy because I see how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, whenever you close doors on certain things, then there'll be people that will mess around and still do little, you know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of thinking about them trying to interrupt the live and all that type of stuff as well for me. But aside from that, you know what I'm saying? That's neither here nor there. But enjoy, you know what I'm saying, your life, your day, seriously. Be happy that the sun is shining. Some people might not have sunshine, they might have rain, you know what I'm saying? Just be happy that you're able to have a mist, you know what I'm saying, or some type of coolness going on, you know what I'm saying, as the temperatures change, you know what I'm saying. Don't be very upset. Some people be like, oh, it's hot and I'm tired of the sun. At least you're able to see the sun. Some people can't see. Some people are blind. They can't see it, you know what I'm saying. So just the small things in life, consider those things most definitely, you know what I'm saying. Always aspire to be able to uplift your brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, because everything is boiling down to where the Most High is using a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, to help encourage a lot of us to be able to love, to be loved back into Him, you know what I'm saying. So my prayers that I've been praying for years is definitely being answered, and that's another reason why I love that, you know what I'm saying. I love Him so much for that, you know what I'm saying, because there's other people who probably pray the same thing, you know what I'm saying, but for me it just feels like that He's really just like, hey, let me kind of show you, you know what I'm saying, that I hear you. So this is how I know, you know what I'm saying, that it'll be in due season, if things are coming around in the seasons that they need to be, you know what I'm saying. So I just consider every blessing, you know what I'm saying, and try to continue to, you know what I'm saying, encourage a lot of y'all. I'm proud of y'all, seriously, because you have awakened another day to be able to succeed, you know what I'm saying. Those of you who are just like, well, I'm just doing this and I don't really want to do this, you know what I'm saying, keep in mind that that won't get you into the kingdom, you know what I'm saying. Like, what I mean by that is that some people just don't want to go through the punishment, but they don't want the relationship, you know what I'm saying. So they'll be like, okay, and these are also people who will mess around and look at people like us, you know what I'm saying, and be like, oh, well, it's not genuine or whatever, because they're not genuine. You know what I'm saying? Some people just will be like, okay, well, yeah, you know what I'm saying, praise God and all this type of stuff, but then, you know what I'm saying, they don't really want a relationship. They don't take time to really, you know what I'm saying, spend their day with the Father, or to even pray, you know what I'm saying, and fast and all this type of stuff. Why do I have to do that? I can meditate and go do all this stuff with altars and all this, and I'm still going to make it into, you know what I'm saying, but it's like, I'd hate to tell you this, but you're not. You know what I'm saying? Think about this, is that, a person is dealing with you, right? And they just don't want to be on your bad side, but they don't never, you know what I'm saying, like, say anything positive to you. They don't even show you any type of form of love or whatever. They just don't want to be on your bad side. So then whenever certain situations happen, you know what I'm saying, and then they need your assistance, then are you going to really just jump to help them? No, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? They don't get the privilege. They don't get the thing that comes with it, because things come with hard work. Some things come with work, hard work, consistency, and dedication. You know what I'm saying? And within these things will make you a better person, because then there's things that will have a functionality in your life of how you function within reality. You know what I'm saying? And it will be embedded in you, so your natural character will end up being able to display out into everybody else who interacts and deals with you. Right? So, with that, you know what I'm saying, I bid adieu. I have something else I'm gonna end up kind of studying that I want to do. I was gonna bring it out today, you know what I'm saying. This is what I wanted to bring out yesterday, but I was like, let me, you know what I'm saying, sit back a little bit. But there's something else I'm gonna end up bringing out, you know what I'm saying, and it's very informative. So aside from that, you know what I'm saying, have a wonderful day, a blissful, blessed day, you know what I'm saying. Enjoy your family, love on who love on you most definitely, you know what I'm saying. Especially love on the Father, because the Father loves you, you know what I'm saying, the most. You know what I'm saying? The Lord loves you the most, you know what I'm saying? And I got love for you as well, most definitely. So I thank you for your time, you know what I'm saying. Shalom, shalom, peace. I'm trying to look, do I look here or do I look there?